Hello everyone, myself Michael Ravina, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. The subject is CS8651 Internet Programming. The unit is Introduction to Ajax and Web Services. The topic is Client Server Architecture, XML HTTP request object and callback of method. Ajax. Ajax refers to a set of technologies and techniques that allow web pages to be interactive like desktop applications. The Ajax is a new technique for creating better and faster and more interactive web application with the help of XML, HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Ajax uses XHTML for content, CSS for presentation, along with the document object model and JavaScript for dynamic content display. Conventional web application transmit information to and from the server using synchronous requests. Asynchronous nature of the Ajax. Here there are the browser based presentation using HTML are used. The asynchronous in Ajax uses that the script will send a request to the server and continue the execution without waiting for the reply. As soon as the reply is received, a browser event is fired, which in turn always allows the script to execute associated actions. The client and the server are asynchronous. Client-server architecture. The Ajax provides a rich and diverse set of products that range from hundreds of suppliers. This diversity provides IT managers and web developers with the ability to choose the particular optimal architectural approach and best products among multiple vendors. Most Ajax technologies transform the particular platform-independent definition of the applications into an appropriate XML and HTML. This is the Ajax client-server transformation. The Ajax client with the client-side Ajax, the Ajax engine runs on the client. The server delivers web content, that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, etc., which is processed by the client-side Ajax engine and which is into revised web content. The browser, the client-side includes a client-side user interface logic such as event handlers. The browser renders the revised HTML document content that comes out of the Ajax engine. With this architecture, the application development team typically provides the following server-side components. First one is the web pages, then second one is the data management. These components include the client-side user interface logic such as event handler. The advantage of this option is the independence from the server-side technology. The server code creates and serves the pages and responds to the client's asynchronous request. Next one is the server-side transformation. This for server-side Ajax, the Ajax server component performs most or all of the Ajax transformation. The Ajax transformation, mainly the server component generates the necessary web content in the form of HTML, CSS, JavaScript to deliver the desired user experience. The Ajax toolkit, server-side toolkit, downloads its own client-side Ajax library which communicates directly with the toolkit's server-side Ajax component. With this architecture, the application development team typically only provides the server-side component, which are web pages, application logic and data management. The main benefit of this approach is this allows the user of server-side languages for debugging, editing and refactoring tools with which developers are already familiar. The disadvantage is the dependence on the particular server-side technology. As general, the server-side Ajax framework expects application code to be written in the server-side language. These frameworks typically hide all the JavaScript that runs in the browser inside single DOM versus dual DOM. That means single document object model versus dual DOM. Single DOM, that means single Ajax run toolkit use the single DOM approach, where the toolkit uses the browser's DOM for both original source markup and HTML plus JavaScript. Some Ajax runtime toolkit uses this DOM approaches. Dual DOM means other Ajax runtime toolkits adopt a dual DOM approach that separates the data from the Ajax related markup into the Ajax DOM tree that is kept separate from the original browser DOM tree. The dual DOM approach has two types. First one is the client side dual DOM and second one is the server side dual DOM. The next one is the XML HTTP request object. The XML HTTP request object is used to exchange data with a server behind the scenes. This means that it is possible to update the part of the web page without reloading the whole page. That is, the XML HTTP request is an API that can be used by the JavaScript, JScript, VBScript and other web browser scripting language to transfer and manipulate XML data and from a web server using the HTTP, establishing the independent connection channel between the web pages and the client side and server side. Creating the XML HTTP. The syntax for creating an XML HTTP request object is variable equal to new XML HTTP request of. This is one of the new version. The old version of the XML HTTP request object creation is variable equal to new active X object of Microsoft.xml HTTP. Processing request in Ajax. The following are the sequence of operations request is initiated. At first, a client event occurs. Then second step is the an XML HTTP request object is created. Then next step is the XML HTTP request object is configured. Then next is the HTML HTTP request object makes an asynchronous request to the web server. The web server returns the result containing the XML document. The XML HTTP request objects calls the callback function and processes the particular request. Then finally the HTML DOM is updated. This is the HTML request methods. There are several HTML request methods are used. First one is the abort. This abort method cancels the particular current request. The get all response header method is used to returns the complete set of HTTP headers as string. Then get response header means that returns the value of the specified header. Open method, there are 4 open methods are used. These open methods mainly specifies to used for get, post or head method. That means to put or get the methods. Get, post methods are mainly used using the particular open method. Next, sent of content used to send the request. Sent request of header is used for add a label or value pair to the particular HTTP header to the sent. Then HTTP request properties on ready state change. That means this kind of property is used when an event handler for an event that fires at every state change. Ready state means here the ready state property defines the current state of the particular XML HTTP request object. You suppose if it is the ready state is equal to 0, then it is after the user have created the XML HTTP request object, but before the call of the open method. Suppose if it is equal to 1, then after the user have the called the open of method but before the call of send. Ready state equal to 2 means after the user have called send. If it is 3 means after the browser has established a communication with the server but before the server has completed the response. If the ready state equal to 4 means after the request has completed and the response of the particular data has been completed, completely received from the server.